It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hayes. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and a whole lot more. 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. BTI, your John Deere dealer in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive service and repair, and tires for all driving needs.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you. We'll be talking some Fort Hays State basketball with head women's coach Tony Hobson and men's coach Mark Johnson. Good to have you back. Good to be back on the program after about a 3-week break. We had the Christmas holiday. We had some Monday basketball, and good to be back on the program talking some Fort Hays State hoops. Again, we're live at the Golden Q. They've got the grilled cheeseburger as the special today. They've got I don't know the name of it, but the burger of the month is outstanding. We'll be trying that here this month of January, plus a lot of great food and drink options and specials. So stop on by the Golden Q. They're just east of campus on 8th Street. The Golden Q, if the game's on, they're open. Again, you can participate in the program. Send us a question. You'll get a chance to win a $25 gift card from the Golden Q. Good for food. Anything on the menu. All you have to do is go to FHSUathletics.com. That's the official Fort Hays State Athletics webpage. And then on the top, you'll see Fan Zone. You hover on that. You get a drop-down menu. And then on the bottom, it'll be Ask the Coach. You submit your question. If we use it, you'll have a chance for the $25 gift certificate from the Golden Q. And with that, we bring in the head coach of the Fort Hays State women, Tony Hobson. Good week for the Tigers. Big win Thursday over Central Missouri, and then got a big win over Lincoln on Saturday. A lot of games since we were last on the program. I got have time to touch on them all, but good to have you back. Good to be back on the program, and you got to be happy with how your team has played since the Christmas break. Had a nice swing down in Oklahoma to start it, and then obviously 2 big wins back here at home.
Yeah, we had that one game pushed back to, I don't know, we play them in 2 or 3 weeks, Northeastern, because of they had some kids ill. So just had a single game down with Rogers State, and I thought,
I guess I did have the one.
Considering everything and the distance and first game back after 2 weeks, I thought we played well. We were excellent the first and fourth quarters. We were okay the middle 2, and got out of there with a pretty comfortable victory. So just kind of a dangerous place to play. We've been in some tight ones down there when you didn't think we should have been, and so you always, we still have kids around that were involved in that game. So it's less likely to happen now, because it's the history is recent enough that they don't let them sneak up on us. So a good job there, and then we came back and got ready for Central Missouri. We knew it would, it's always a big game with them. Seems like we're always playing with something on the line, and they're always a tough team of late, especially. So I thought our kids were really ready to play for that game. I mean, after Olivia missed Monday's game with a pinched nerve and was, I didn't see any way she would be back. She was really good the second half, and we played well. The third quarter was probably about as good as we played, and we got after them a little bit. And I expected. I mean, I always expect to win, but I expected to beat them, but not maybe quite in that fashion, because once we got it was 5-point lead and it was 7, and you look up it's 11, and we just didn't look back. And our kids really finished that game well.
And then, Lincoln's a dangerous game, just in the sense they haven't been great. You're coming off that game. You've got two huge ones coming up this week with teams that are contending for the conference championship. So easy to maybe bask in the glow of beating Central Missouri. It's been such a big rivalry, but your team really never did that. It got behind early, nothing to there. They did wrong, but boy, once it kind of came right back, got those 5 to tie it up, and then it was game over. They played really well.
Yeah, considering we're missing 2 starters with illness, and I thought the other kids stepped in and did well. We went with a small lineup to start, and they hit a couple baskets there early, the first 2 possessions, and then once we kind of got on track, it seemed like the ball started going in the basket, and it never did stop. So one of those games, like you said, if you show up not ready to play hard, something bad could happen, and then they get their confidence built a little bit and get comfortable, and they play better than they really are, which really, that's what. When a team plays with confidence, sometimes that's the only time that a team will play over their head, and you just kind of have to take that thought out of their head right away. And I think halfway through the first quarter, we'd kind of done that.
You mentioned, we're talking before the game, how they can get to the rim. They're athletic, they're guards, and they prove that. They have a hard time finishing. If they could figure that out, they've got a chance to give some teams some fits, because they do. You're pretty decent defensively, but they got to the rim a lot, and that's and you're not the only one. They do that a lot, but they have a hard time finishing, and you did a good job. One shot, got the ball, got going the other end.
Yeah, they're just good enough. They're not great shooters, but they're just good enough shooters where you kind of have to honor that a little bit. So as you're trying to do that, then they get by you, and you forget that they're primarily drivers and want to get to the basket. And then if you get out of position, they're easy to foul because they're quick, and a couple of their guards are so thin that they can slide under a closed door, so they're hard to get in front of. They can fit, they get there, and like you said, I think one of the reasons they get there is they're semi out of control,
right? And
that's probably why they miss some of those around the basket. But I thought we did a good job of contesting those without putting them at the line all the time, and then. I thought for the most part our little 3/4 court trap was just designed to kind of slow them down a little bit and make them change direction a couple times before they got up there. It got a little lazy late, and they hit a couple shots that we didn't need to see. But for the most part, I thought our kids were engaged, and we played hard, and it really helps that on a cold Saturday. Lincoln's coming to town. The men's game's been canceled. You're almost ready for a real small, quiet crowd and no atmosphere, and just totally opposite of that. I thought we had a great crowd. They were into it. Stayed the whole game. And that just helps a lot, because I can always just tell my kids that, they come here to watch you play hard, play as well as you can, and you owe it to them to do that. So don't be out there giving anything less.
Well, they did. Fans certainly enjoyed it, and it was a good day for the Tigers, who now find themselves tied for first atop the MIAA with Nebraska Kearney, with some help from Central Missouri. We'll talk more about Tiger basketball, preview a big week coming up. Northwest Wednesday at home, at Missouri Western on Saturday. Both teams with one conference loss, so big week for the Tiger women. Tiger Talk presented by Golden Belt Bank of Hazen Ellis, here to make every story shine brighter. It's the way they do banking, one story at a time. Check them out at goldenbeltbank.com. More from the Golden Q on Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction. 28-26 Tigers. Sydney into the front court. Ernie right wing. In the corner, Dill Saber. Dribbles baseline. Up top, Galladay. Open for a three. Count it. Sydney Galladay's second three in the quarter. 31-26. Tigers by 5. Yes, that was some of the action from Thursday in Fort Hays State's victory over Central Missouri. They go on to win at 84-59. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're talking some women's basketball with head coach Tony Hobson. The program brought to you by Adams Brown, where they do more than just run numbers and file tax returns. They work hard to become strategic allies. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. Part of a little run there by the Fort Hays State women. 29 third quarter points. She opened that third quarter on an 18-1 run against a quality opponent. And your team has done that. And you kind of mentioned, been the MO. You may have two really good quarters, a couple of, maybe even or close to even. But, man, you got some stretches where, they get on a roll, and it's just fun to really watch.
Well, it's just good that we don't score basketball like you do volleyball, where
yeah,
otherwise we'd be 2-2 or 2-2 going, and we'd have to play that little fifth one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We're kind of we are a momentum team, and when we get going, we can score in bunches, and as long as you have a couple of those real good little runs sometime during the course of the game, and if your defense is good enough to not allow them the same thing, if you can go 10-2 and then they go 4-2, it's just you have to rely on those sometimes. And we got going the other night, and it was I was turning around. I'd turn around to say something to somebody or take a drink, and all of a sudden we had the ball again, and then I said, what happened? And then it was fun to watch, and our depth is, like you mentioned the other night, probably about as good as it's been for a while, when we have everybody and we can go 10 or 12 deep when we need to, and that helps with just the energy level. And when kids get in there, they're ready to go, and they showed it that night.
Well, one of the reasons that depth of Sydney Bergman, you see her feeling comfortable, and Sydney Galladay maybe for the first time, just felt like she's taken that next step. She had a big game, 10 points against Central Missouri, and then 9 points, 8 assists against Lincoln. Just really, really played well this weekend. Really has played well since the Christmas break. You kind of feel that she's just taken that next step for you.
Yeah, she has, and defensively she's been good. What it does is it just gives us another little dimension offensively, because we can run Jaden off the ball and have Sydney run the point, and you'd really like to have Jaden as kind of your when you're bringing it and initiating the offense. Sometimes then you might not see the ball again, and we like Jaden to kind of be the playmakers and to have it in her hands when the moment of truth, I call it, when it's time to make that pass for the easy shot or make a decision. I trust her with it about as much as I've ever had any player I've ever had. So it just gives us another dimension when Sydney's in there playing well, and we can, like I said, we can kind of change things up offensively.
We're right at the bottom of the hour, so let's go ahead real quick. Pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Whether it's beer, wine, or spirits, pick up a winner at either of the two convenient Kaiser Liquor locations in Hays. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hays.
Whitney's been playing.
We're back on Tiger Talk here on this Monday, flying from the Golden Q. Tiger women getting set for a big week. We talked about it after the game. 22 assists on 31 baskets on Thursday. 29 assists on 34 made baskets. And well, here, you've always had a very good assist to turnover ratio, but it seems like it's been ridiculously good here since Christmas and even a little bit before.
Yeah, when you get up there around 30 assists, it's like, most of the time you see teams with 15 turnovers and 15 assists, or maybe less assists. And really, if you look at the non-assist baskets of those two games, it's when we stole it in the backcourt and went in for layups. I know that happened with Emma a couple times against Lincoln, and we had a lot of steals and conversions against Central. So, it's one of the reasons that makes our team good and hard to beat is that we'll share the ball, and I really truthfully believe that our kids don't really care who scores. A lot of them would rather make the pass than the basket, and when you get a team that's unselfish like that and doesn't care who gets the credit, and they're good players to begin with, you win a lot of games.
Whitney Randall's played really well. Had a big offensive game in Claremore out of the break, but she's been 12 points and 9 rebounds against Lincoln. Had 10 points the other day against Central Missouri. And she's always kind of been a streaky up and down player as far as offensive production, but seems like she's been pretty consistent here as of late. That's a great sign.
She has, more consistent than she's been in a while, and playing with a lot more energy. And I think getting through her student teaching was kind of a mental hurdle that now I don't have to worry about that. And I think she's kind of freed up mentally a little bit and really getting after it. And she's also really getting out in the lanes defensively, and some things that if you don't have energy, those are the first things to go. If a guy's going to rest, you're always going to do it on the defensive end. You don't want to rest if you're going to have a chance to score. So, but she's been playing with a lot of energy, rebounding the ball well, and we really need that from her.
Well, Tigers getting set for a big week. Couple of one-loss teams on the schedule. Northwest Missouri State and Missouri Western. We'll talk about them when we return. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Dine-in, carry-out, fast delivery. Of course, you know the number, 625-7114. You can use the handy Taco Shop app for contactless delivery. The Taco Shop, you've never had it so good. More with Tony Hobson after the break. This is the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Fact: 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact: 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Has it left wing, top of the key to Wagner. Takes a dribble, right side Ernie. Ernie fires it up top to Bergman. Back to Wagner, cutting down the lane for a layup. Beautiful find from the top of the key. Bergman to Wagner. Wagner with 14 points, a dozen here in the third. It's 59-44. Yeah, I even talked about Katie playing well. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're live at the Golden Q. It's brought to you by BTI. They're your John Deere dealer. Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. Real quick, Northwest Missouri State in town on Wednesday, at Missouri Western on Saturday. Couple of one-loss teams in the conference, so you just played a really good opponent and a big rival in Central Missouri. Now you get kind of, I'd say upstart. Western's they've had a few teams that have pushed, but you can see this Northwest team building over the last 3-4 years and just getting better each year, and obviously they're playing well. Been another big challenge on Wednesday night.
Yeah, a lot of the same kids, just a year older, and they're committed to getting better, and they've been they've been kind of just on the fringe. They'd upset a couple teams, but they could never be very consistent, and they've won a couple close games, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now, and about as high a level as they have for a long time. So they'll come in here with excited about, first of all, playing us and trying to knock off a highly ranked team, and they're playing for the same thing we are. They're in the same spot, trying to win the conference. So it'll be a tough game. They're really deep. They have big guards. They like to post them up a lot. So we'll have to be on our toes come Wednesday and ready to play.
It's going to be a total you play them, it's like a more of a grind them out physical game, and then Saturday you're going to face Western, who leads the conference in scoring. So it's going to be an interesting week preparation-wise for the one on Wednesday and then what you'll face on Saturday.
Yeah, it is. It's totally different. It'll be more of a half-court game, I anticipate, on Wednesday. Saturday, you don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be it'll be crazy up and down, I imagine, and they will press us and get out in the lanes, and they're very athletic. So 2 good teams. Western, the only game they've lost is at Northwest in a real tight one. Did that go over? That might have even went overtime. I'm not sure it did. If not, it was 1 possession. So just two really good teams, and Kearney plays the same 2 teams. The 4 one-loss teams are all playing a little round robin. So when the smoke clears on Sunday, we just hope we're still up there at the top.
And as you said, we kind of touched on after the game Saturday. It's what you play college basketball for. I mean, these are the fun games. I mean, you want to be in big-time matchups, and you're going to get that this week.
Yep. And that's why, teams that and kids that don't like to play with pressure on them, they don't belong here. Or they're not going to get along very good here, because a lot of our games are pressure packed, mm-hmm. and when you're at the top of the conference and when you're ranked high in the country, everybody's after you, and every game means something, and that's how I like it, and that's how it should be.
Should be a lot of fun. Have a good week of practice. We'll see you Wednesday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, 5:30 Wednesday as they host Northwest Missouri State. Then Saturday afternoon in St. Joe against Missouri Western. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with men's coach Mark Johnson as Tiger Talk continues here from the Golden Q on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Caleb Hammocky between the circles. Wow, tried to lob it over the top to Vitztum. It got knocked away, but Caleb saves it. Cross court to Rock right wing. Now in low to Peters. Dribbles to the rim and scores. Gilbert Peters with 7. 39-36. Tigers cut it to 3. Gilbert having a good night tonight. Now, part of the comeback on Thursday, the only game for the Tigers this week, is a rally to beat Central Missouri. Welcome back into Tiger Talk. It's brought to you by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. Expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. That's the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. They're the official team physicians for Fort Hays State Athletics. We're joined now by head men's coach Mark Johnson. And we talked about this busy stretch of games coming out of the break. Wouldn't get quite as busy because you had no game on Saturday, but good bounce back win after the tough loss on the road. You come back and you get a nice win over Central Missouri. Didn't look good for the first 20 minutes, but give your team credit. Got it going in that second half, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it kind of had offensively anyway. I thought we played pretty hard the first half. That's the only thing that gave us a chance. The biggest difference between the Central Oklahoma and Central Missouri game, we played great defense. Even though we were struggling, we still gave ourselves, going in the halftime locker room, you still have a chance if you start playing better because you've held them enough. But really kind of had a carryover from the Rogers Northeastern game. Just really struggled. Couldn't make shots, didn't run necessarily great offense, missed some opportunities, and then came out the second half and played really well. I mean, biggest shot of the game, even though there's still 20 minutes to go in the game, I felt like is when Gabe Peschel made that 3 to start the second half. Kind of, you got to get some things. Like I always say, you got to make a few to kind of relax your team and start going. And that was a big shot. He made that, and then we went 8 for 12 from 3 of the second half, and played a really good game. Like I said, Gilbert there at the highlight. Gilbert came in and really gave us a good boost there and scored 9 points, I believe it was, and we needed all of them. But, I'm really proud of the guys, the way we came back second half and, played well and then played with confidence.
Yeah, 20 points in the first half, 44 in the second, which I think was the second most points you scored in a half. I think you had 45 in a game earlier this year. So, basketball's there's a lot of intricacies to it, but bottom line, you put the ball through the hoop. That's the object, and when that happens, it can look pretty simple.
Yeah, Do I think we ran a little better offense, moving the ball and executing and all that? I think we did. But did we do it the difference between 1 and 8 from 3 in the first half and 8 and 12? I would say probably not. We just made some shots. And basketball is you get it to your best players, they go make a play, then you have to bring more help and you kick it to the next guy, and then somebody's got to be open if you can do that. So, but yeah, hopefully we're trying to change some things up and kind of do some things to help ourselves out a little bit, but hopefully the second half was a confidence booster for a lot of our guys.
Quentin Rock had a nice game, scored 11, hit 3 of 4 threes, and he looked the best he's looked since the injury. Maybe a little bit more confident and hit a few shots. And he's such a big part because he's such a good shooter and can really shoot the threes well. And when he was out of there, that made things challenging.
Yeah, he just, he got off to a little bit of slow start. I think his first time coming off the bench, that's a factor. But he really gave us help, and then he got hurt. And then that down in Oklahoma, he wasn't quite healthy enough. And then, he had a really good game. You kind of hope bounce back, and now he's sick, and it's not COVID, but I mean he's missing practice and just can't seem to get it going. But hopefully he's feeling better here by tomorrow and get a good practice in and be ready to go, because he's a big difference. Would we have still maybe lost to Rogers? Sure, but I think he would have gave us a better opportunity if he was able to play to his capabilities, and we got to get him going, because he just gives us another guy that has the potential to score double figures.
And your team's been really good defensively, really, since the first game of the year, but when the offense is struggling, I mean, eventually there's going to be a little seepage there, and it's going to play into the defense as well. I think you maybe saw that a little bit.
Yeah, you look at our team, you figure out starting a game, who has the potential to be a double-figure guy, and we don't have Caleb, Jared, Nige, and then you really would probably throw Quentin in as, before the game starts, say who are the guys that have the most potential to get you double figures tonight, and Quentin, I would say, would be in our top 4 guys, and you remove that guy, and now you've just taken one more guy that you feel like can really go get, has the potential to have a really good game and make a difference for you offensively.
Caleb Hammock struggled shooting against Central Missouri, 0 for 8, but he dished out 9 assists in the game. I think it tied a career high for him, so still found ways, even though teams are making, and as you expect, teams are obviously making him a kind of a focus on the defensive effort, but still find a way to contribute and help the team win.
Yeah, he had to take what the defense was giving him. He's obviously very athletic. He's a downhill player. He could really get to the rim and transition. He's kind of the one guy in the half court that can really get to the rim. And when he's getting there right now, they're collapsing and forcing him to get rid of the ball. He made a nice or good decisions to get rid of it, and then it helps when your teammates make shots. That gives you an assist. You make that same pass and they miss, you don't get any credit for it. So, people are keying on him. Hopefully we can continue to shoot the ball at a better rate, and we do that. Now those guys, that's the thing about Northwestern, their guards. Hey, those guards are great. Don't get me wrong. They're high level, as good a guards as we play. But it also opens up the lane when the 4 other defenders have to stay out on their guy because they shoot it so well, and you can't get in there. And at times they walk it in, and everybody's like, "Boy, why can't you space the floor out like Northwest Missouri?" Well, you got to have 4 shooters to do that. They space it out and have guys that can shoot. We're spacing it out at times, and they're still getting the help on Caleb, and he's got to get rid of the ball. And hopefully that opens it up when you make shots.
Heard the highlight from Gilbert. Good to see that. It's been kind of a rough up and down start to the season. Hopefully get him some consistency, because he can be a matchup problems. I know at times it's kind of give and take. How do doesn't always have someone to defend, but a guy who can certainly help you. And it was good to see him on Thursday.
Yeah, I thought he did good. Because the way we've been struggling offensively, we got to get him out there. He's a guy that we don't get a lot of easy baskets. He's a guy that has potential to just, because of his sheer mass and size, just go down there and get a layup. And we've been winning a lot with defense. And like you said, sometimes in today's world, it's just hard for him to match up. But if we're struggling offensively the way we are or have been, we've got to get him out there. The problem we have is Jared is just a guy that needs to be out there at all times. Whether it be scoring, rebounding, and all that. And then like B, it goes unnoticed. B is he's as good a defender. He guards his man and he protects everyone else. He flies around, and at times that gets him in trouble offensively. That he just plays with relentless motor, and that's great on defense. But sometimes on offense, when he goes to the rim and has the ball, he's just going so fast and he's in a hurry. He just plays so fast that it gets him in trouble, and he doesn't finish to the level you need to be. But I mean, B's a big part of our. So it's that fine line of getting Gilbert in, but we have to find a way to get him in a little bit.
And Gabe Pichel, another one you mentioned hitting that three. He hit one to start the game. You thought that might get you guys going in that first half. It didn't happen, but that three in the second half, and he's another one. Just kind of wait for him. And I mean, offensively, I mean, he's one of those guys who's in the right spot, plays well defensively, but I think they probably shoot it better than he's shown up to this point. It was good to see him kind of get on track.
Yeah, he needs to shoot. I mean, but it's a challenge with B and Gabe. You look at those. The reason our defense is really raised, and I don't want to take any. I mean, Jared's guarding better, and Caleb's guarding. I mean, Naiji, they're all doing it, but two guys make it go. You know what I mean? I mean, B and Gabe also, they're very similar. They guard their man and they fly around and they have enough size and they cover up any type of breakdown we have. And it's kind of like, if we put some guys in, I thought we'd go score 85 points. You know what I mean? But, there's going to be a slight at times there's going to be a slight difference offensively, but there's going to be a big difference defensively. And I think that's the tightrope we're kind of walking, trying to get enough offense in there, but still not lose what has made us successful.
Well, the defense has certainly been good from the get-go for the Tigers, and they'll need it on Wednesday. Another big week for Fort Hays State. Northwest Missouri State ranked second in the nation, and then Missouri Western on Saturday in St. Joe. Kind of interesting, home for one and road for the other, but that's the schedule this week, and we'll talk more about that when we return. Tiger Talk is brought to you by BTI. They're your John Deere dealer. Locations in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. We'll take a break. More to come from Tiger Talk here at the Golden Q on this Monday on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at HaysPost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Here's a pass from Hammocky over to right. Another three. He knocked it in right in front of the bench. 90 Wright with back-to-back threes, and the Tigers are on top. They have scored 7 in a row.
Looks easy when the shots go in, doesn't it?
It's a simple game sometimes. Yeah, that's for sure. No truer words have ever been said, as that was part of a Tiger run that got them the lead, and they go on to beat Central Missouri on Thursday, 64-59. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. We're here for our final segment with head coach Mark Johnson. The program is brought to you by G&L Tire and Automotive. They've got tires for all driving conditions and budgets, plus complete automotive service and repair. That's G&L Tire and Automotive. They're just east of 8th and Main. They're on the bricks in downtown Hays. Tigers with another big week. They're all big weeks in the MIAA, but the conference leaders, the defending national champions, Northwest Missouri State, they come in ranked second in the country. Obviously a monumental task, but as a player, got to be excited for the challenge. You get a premier program on their home floor. Should be a fun one on Wednesday, hopefully.
Yeah, I know. They're ranked number 2, but I mean, they're the best team in the country. I mean, that's, they just they're a good team. They do a great job. What's amazing is just their talent level. You look at the guy Hawkins last year, he was probably their second best player. He uses the COVID year and goes to Creighton, and he's Creighton's leading scorer and rebounder. And like I said, he wasn't their best player. Their best player is back. I mean, they do, they just out-talent you, and then what they do is they don't let you close the gap. They don't let they play as hard as anybody, so you can't close that talent gap by, we're going to play harder than them. They execute and do the right things and take quality shots and minimize breakdowns as much as anybody you play, so you can't close that talent gap there. So I mean, that's what they get really good players, and then they just don't. They do everything you're supposed to do, and it's hard to like I said, close that gap. But, we had a great opportunity last year at our place. We just struggled from three, but we really played hard. And, again, on our home floor, there's no question we have an opportunity to win this game. We got to play with great energy, great effort, try to slow them down like we did last year at our place. And then we've got to find a way to, it's like I tell our guys, most games we play, even in the MIAA, as good as it is, and as talented it is, on our home floor, most games we play with great effort. We guard, we defend, and we don't turn the basketball over. We'll probably give ourselves a great chance to win the game. And then you have, 2 games. I would say Central Oklahoma and Northwest. That's probably not going to be enough. We got to do those things, and then we are going to have to make some shots on the offensive end, and not be perfect and all that, but play fairly well and play good offense. We can't, play bad offense like we did at Central, because you just cannot shut teams of that caliber out. So, if we continue to guard them, and then we have that night where we're making some shots like we did the second half against Central, we got a great chance to win that game, and probably should win the game if we do that.
Obviously, Hudgens is it kind of makes them go at that point guard. It's phenomenal what he's done there. And when you watch him, it seems just very simple. As you said, they put a lot of guys on the perimeter, and they execute so well, and they can all shoot it. That's the scary part. It's like there's no weak link out there usually.
Yeah, their ball goes in. You feel like maybe this year there's a few more guys you can help off of than the last few years. That hopefully gives you a chance. But, yeah, they run. What they really do is they just, their offense, as crazy as it sounds at times, I feel like their offense affects your offense. They scored at such a high rate and so efficiently, you can't get a stop. Now you come down on your end and you panic and you quit running quality offense. Most teams, it's their defense that affects your offense. They're so good offensively that, and they do guard also. I don't want to say that they don't, but they just score so easily at times and so often that your team gets frustrated. You start to panic. Guys come down and you're taking quick bad shots, trying to keep yourself in the game. And it's like I said, it's like quicksand. The harder you try like that, the worse it gets. And we got to continue to stay disciplined on the offensive end.
And they don't play a lot of guys. And, boy, you look this run they've been on. It's sometimes, 7 deep. It's been amazing. That really hasn't seemed to be a problem for them.
They have been fortunate to stay out. You look at this year, is probably as much as any year I've been associated as a coach. Our teams in our league have had the most injuries, guys missing games in and out, and really they haven't very often been COVID-related. It's more just a lot of ankle sprains and a lot of stress fractures and things like that. They've been very fortunate to stay healthy over the last few years, and that's a big part of being, able to win. You ask Coach Garner my first year, Fort Hays didn't play a lot of guys, and they won the national championship because they stayed healthy all year. And you hear Bob Chipman on those veterans. Part of having a great year is also staying healthy. I think that's true in every sport. You play a lot of football. It's the years you can stay healthy, you've got a chance to be pretty good.
No doubt about that. And then you'll have to come right back around and head to Missouri Western on Saturday. And their team, they're right around the 500 mark, but probably better than that. They battled through some stuff early on and struggled, but you've played them enough. They've kind of turned their culture around a little bit, and that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it's just you look at your schedule. You just can't have a hiccup, in our league. And what happened was they get off to a great start. They're 4-0, and then you go to Northwest, you go to Emporia, and you go to Washburn, a healthy Washburn. Like I said, I think those 3 teams are 3 of the top 15 teams in the country. Hey, those are hard games to win, and then you just Pitt gets 2 guys back, you lose a home game, and all of a sudden things start, but they'll be ready to go and understand the importance of this week to them. They're very athletic. They're very big. We really had a problem at their place last year to playing against them. This will, again, and I felt like the Emporia Washburn, and then this week is one of the tougher weeks we face all year playing these 2 teams.
It should be a fun one, though. Heck of a challenge for the Tigers, and certainly know they'll be up for the task. Coach, as always, appreciate the time. We will see you Wednesday at the Coliseum.
All right, thanks, Gerard.
Tigers at Northwest Missouri State, a 5:30, 7:30 doubleheader, and then Saturday afternoon in St. Joe against Missouri Western. Certainly hope to see you at the games. If not, of course, join us on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk is presented by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, The Taco Shop, BTI, Hayes Orthopedic Institute, and G&L Tire and Automotive. Again, we'll be on the air, Tiger Radio Mix 103 at 5:05 on Wednesday night, and then at 1:05 on Saturday Saturday afternoon from St. Joe for Fort Hays State men's and women's basketball. We'll be back here on Tiger Talk next Monday, 12:15, live from the Golden Q on the Tiger Sports Network. So long, everyone.